Good afternoon, everybody. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it, because today is a day that we can all rejoice. Arizona is going to help lead the way, not only in our state, but in our country, for one of the most complex issues facing society today. And I don't need to tell you what's been going on the last couple of years, especially with our law enforcement. Number one, keeping our brave officers safe. But number two, making sure that our citizens feel safe too. And so I'm surrounded by some of the best that we have in our state, as well as some of our legislators, and as a group effort with the leadership of Governor Ducey, our state legislature, our police, our law enforcement. The state of Arizona allocated over $2 million, $2.1 million, to find a solution to, again, one of the biggest and most complex problems facing our state today and our country today. And that is this, again, keeping our law enforcement officers safe and bridging that gap between the community, the inner city, and our police force. And what we've done, rather than just keeping the status quo, we want to take lead on this and have Arizona show the rest of the country, here's how we can help actually achieve that. And law enforcement came and said, we need a better training system for our officers. Everybody likes to be trained better, right? Whether you're an athlete, you want to be coached better. If you're in business, you want to be coached better. If you're an officer, you want to be trained better. Everybody wants to be trained better, but how do you do that? And we scoured, and they found this fantastic company that we are at today, VirTra. And oh, by the way, they just happen to be a great Arizona company. And they have created one of, which I certainly think is the best, simulating programmers in the country to help A, keep our officers safe, B, allow them to train and learn to do their job more effectively, and C, again, give them those skills to combat some of the stories that we've been seeing out there in terms of public, community, inner city, and law enforcement. And you won't have to take my word for it. You're going to be able to see it in just a moment. But the state of Arizona felt it was very important to make this partnership happen, to make the community aware that we care for our brave men and women that wear the badge, and for the rest of us that live in society with them. And we want to make sure that we have harmony, that the law and order prevails, but that the people feel safe and they feel that they can handle the officers. And what you're about to see here today is going to blow your mind, because what our officers will be learning is going to help accomplish all of that. And we have a few people that want to speak today, and I have the honor today of introducing some of them. And first up, I'd like to introduce you to the Director of DPS, Department of Public Safety, Frank Milstead. He's going to tell you a little bit about where some of these units are going. You're going to learn more about these units throughout the short duration of this press conference, and then you'll be able to see them shortly. So, Director, would you please? Thank you, sir.
All right.
Good afternoon, and thank you all for coming here today. And a special thanks to Senator Smith and the Arizona State Legislature for working so closely with our governor, Governor Ducey, who has made law enforcement and the safety of Arizona and our citizens a priority in his administration, and it's shown here today with the purchase and acquisition of these simulators. 7 of them will be placed throughout the state of Arizona to provide really world-class cutting-edge training to all law enforcement officers in the state of Arizona. 138 officers have been killed in the line of duty this year, 64 of them from gunfire, 2 of them here in Arizona. It's a very, very difficult job, and since 2008, started the Great Recession, police departments cut back. They started to lose officers through attrition, training started to lapse, and those things that we did at such a high level for such a long period of time here in Arizona to make sure that what we do here in Arizona as law enforcement is that we always have public trust, we always have public sentiment to get the things done that we need done. Well, this is a new commitment, it's a new time, and these simulators will provide a 300-degree de-escalation. You hear a lot about de-escalation force. isn't necessary. But this simulator will allow the officers to train really in a real-world environment that had not yet been available here in Arizona. And I would tell you, it's also comforting to know that Arizona, once again, is on the cutting edge of law enforcement training. So we do keep that public trust and that public sentiment. So besides the Arizona Department of Public Safety receiving one of these simulators to be located at our headquarters, the Arizona Law Enforcement Training Academy in South Phoenix, where Phoenix PD and DPS and many other agencies train, will have a simulator. There will be one at the Mesa Police Department. In a minute, I'm going to introduce Assistant Chief Mike Solberg. He wants to talk a minute about that. Northeastern Arizona Law Enforcement Training Academy, the Northern Arizona Regional Training Academy, the Southern Arizona Regional Enforcement Training Academy, and the Western Arizona Law Enforcement Academy. So we've taken a lot of time. We've worked very closely with the leadership and the administrators of those training facilities to make it possible to put this large piece of equipment and keep it maintained at a very high level. So with that being said, again, Senator Smith and the other legislators that are here, thank you for your commitment to Arizona law enforcement. It's an honor to be here. Next up will be Assistant Chief Mike Solberg from the Mesa Police Department. Mike.
Mike Solberg, Assistant Chief with Mesa Police Department. As the Colonel said, as Mr. Smith said, we're really appreciative of receiving this VirTra system at our academy. We looked at getting a system like this about 7 years ago, but obviously they cost money, and with limited resources, it was a luxury that we just couldn't afford to have at that time. So through the state providing these resources, we're now able to provide that not only for our department, for the East Valley, the surrounding agencies, they can use that as well. And as the director mentioned, with all the increase of attacks on police officers, this 300-degree system, not only can we expand our training that we do now with a single source video screen in front of us by creating almost a surround sound and surround video, we have the ability to train our officers to look to those threats to the side or behind us. Not only just focusing on what's in front of you, but also those ambushes that are coming from the side or from behind us. Plus, the system also has the advantage of interactive, where if our officers don't react to the threat they're perceiving, they will get a little bit of a physical interaction with the system, reminding them to move and react to that threat. So we're looking forward to the partnership with VirTra, and thank you to the state for providing this for our officer safety, not only for Mesa, but for the whole East Valley. Thank you.
Before I bring up Director Levi Bolton from the Arizona Police Association, a couple of things I want to touch on that Director Milstead spoke about. You know, of course, yes, this helps our officers train to be better at what they do, but it also, as he spoke about de-escalation, what do you do if you're an officer and you see somebody that looks a certain way, wearing something certain with their hands in their pocket? What do you say to them? What should you say to them? What shouldn't you say? And what happens when it changes? The great thing about this is they allow you to do that. This is not your Hogan's Alley video game anymore where you shoot the bad guy, don't shoot the good guy, and there's your police training. This gives them the full encompassing training that they're going to need. And the reason I say Arizona is leading the nation, we're the first state that we know that have made this type of investment for a statewide solution to this issue. And so without further ado, I'd like to present to you the Executive Director of the Arizona Police Association, Mr. Levi Bolton.
My name is Levi Bolton. I'm the Executive Director of the Arizona Police Association. My nearly 14,000 members who comprise of federal, state, county, local corrections and probation officers are here to offer their heartfelt appreciation for this much-needed training tool. We would like to thank all the members of the Arizona Legislature and Governor Ducey who came together to make this possible. The landscape of America has changed with respect to the risk confronted by our officers, and many would agree this is a dangerous time in America to be a police officer. Our training methods must evolve with the emergence of new threats and technologies employed to defuse those threats. In a world where officers only own 50% of the conduct but held 100% responsible for the outcome, we have exhausted, if not pressed the limits of our current training tools. While examining the possible training technologies and course option tools available, VirTra came to our attention. The APA has asked several of our members who are tactical experts and have that expertise to visit VirTra and found that its realistic scenario-based experiential dynamic offered a vast number of training and force options to include de-escalation and less than lethal force options, a necessary component for today's first responders. I would like to thank the management and technical teams at VirTra for their cooperation to avail their facility to allow this close examination of their product and allow our experts to experience this innovative training tool. Finally, I would like to point out that using this state-of-the-art virtual training technology, our trainers forego the cost of ammunition, additional range personnel, and the expense of decontamination associated with live fire. We are pleased to add this to Arizona's training option. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And now we have the pleasure of being joined by the president of the Maricopa County chapter of the NAACP, Ms. Ann Hart.
Thank you. As president of the Maricopa County branch of the NAACP, I am very excited that police are going to be receiving the most up-to-date training and tactical strategies and techniques necessary for the de-escalation training. I believe this program will save many lives. It is my goal that someday every officer in Arizona will be able to train on these devices. And I particularly want to thank Governor Ducey, DPS Director Milstead, Senator Steve Smith, and the state legislature for their support in this important step in improving community and police relations. We endorse this, we look forward to it, and we embrace it. Thank you.
And I believe Ms. Hart had the pleasure of touring the facility and going through, and going through the system herself. As did the next gentleman I'm going to introduce, Mr. Rob Boyd. He's the founder of the Streets Don't Love You Back organization, and this organization helps a lot of kids at risk who are in the system, and he tries to prevent them from going in the system. He'd like to speak it through his own support.
First of all, I just want to give God all the glory for blessing me and my wife to start a program in 2009, the Streets Don't Love You Back organization that educates at-risk youths, at-risk adults against gangs, drugs, and violence and abuse. And we've been working very closely with Senator Smith in our District 11, and we want to just thank our law enforcement that we look forward to working with bridging the gap with community relationships and police relationships. I grew up in Detroit, so back in my time, in the 70s and 80s, police knew the community that they were serving. They knew mom, they knew you, and they told you to go home, or I'm gonna tell mom and dad if you stayed with both parents. So I think we need to get back to that when it comes to police relationship and you knowing who you're serving and getting involved with the community, knowing the business leaders as well in the community. And that's where I think we can start healing and bridging the gap with our community. And I just want to thank Senator Smith again for introducing me and my wife to DOC, Charles Ryan. And our intervention program will start in the prison system here in Arizona, second week in January, to help inmates also get educated. And we just look forward to working with law enforcement on this great thing right here that we're doing at this great facility. And we want to thank everybody for embracing this right here in our great state of Arizona. Thank you very much.
Okay, and finally, last and certainly not least, is the man that brought you this amazing technology, Mr. Bob Ferris, CEO of VirTra, and he has an exciting announcement and an early Christmas present for you all, because you get to witness firsthand this cutting-edge 21st century technology yourself. So, Mr. Ferris, please.
Thank you, Senator Smith. It is a tremendous honor for VirTra that our training simulators were selected for this groundbreaking project. I'm profoundly proud that we have leaders in this state that not only imagine a better world, but that they actually do the hard work to make it a reality. At this time, we're concluding the press conference, but we welcome everyone to experience the training simulator products for themselves, and at that time you can also ask some questions. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm about to take the card to somebody else.
I'll be around.
Go ahead, go ahead.
You get it, somebody wants to meet you.
I'll get you in a second. Go ahead, take your picture.
Yeah, I just want to say this is a great man right here that the streets will love you back. We'll be looking forward to working with as well, and you can say a few words, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm deeply honored that the gentleman here took the time, and his wife, to come and talk about something that's very important to all of us. But the law enforcement community has been listening, and we're going to be working hand in hand in fellowship and partnership to make this a better place.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
And we look forward to it.
We'll be back.
Yes.
That was great. I'd like to chat with you about it.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's your man Rob Boyd checking in, and it's been a great day for the Streets Will Love You Back organization, and I just want to thank Senator Steve Smith for inviting me and my wife out to the press conference today in Tempe, and it's about bridging the gap with community and law enforcement, and me and my wife's organization is very honored to be participating in that because, like I said at the press conference, where I come from in Detroit, police knew who they was serving in the community. They knew the parents, they knew the business owners in the community. So we had to bring that here to Arizona as well and put that across the country as well because we lost that a long time ago. So I just want to be a person who bridged the gap with helping save lives, you know, and let my wife speak now.
All right. We had the opportunity to come to VirTra over a month ago and go through the training, and it's really amazing because when you're put in that situation of you have a second to shoot to save your life or save somebody else's life, it really puts a lot of thought out there as to why sometimes police shoot first, but you really don't understand until you're in that situation. This virtual training system is going to be awesome, and Arizona is the one rolling it out, and you know, we expect our police officers to go through a few months of academy training and come out and be experts at communication and, you know, understanding different situations. You know, if you've grown up in Arizona all your life, you don't know how to talk to a homeboy from the streets of Detroit. So you need to learn different scenarios, you need to learn different cultures, different races, different religions, and be able to communicate with all of them in an effective way. This training also helps them to have better training so that they're really good at what they do through communication and as well as you know, being out there doing their job effectively and appropriately. So we look forward to this moving throughout Arizona and throughout the country. Look for VirTra in the future, and the Streets Don't Love You Back is out here with them, bridging the gap between community and policing. And you know, we need to all come together.
And thank you so much, my lovely queen, for that right there. And